And now we come into our final Oscar review of the year, as we look into our winner for Best International Feature, as it comes from South Korea. In terms of the country's history, this is actually the country's first nomination, as they rarely submitted films during the 20th century, until they became more active in the 21st century. However, they never made it into the shortlist. Even the director of this film had one submitted film in 2009 with Mother. Then in 2018, Burning ended up being the first Korean film to be in the shortlist, but did not get the nomination. A year later, the director of that 2009 film would direct a movie that not only was being considered one of the most talked about movies, but many people consider it the best movie of 2019. But then for its accolades, it made massive history. It started by winning the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, then at more festivals and Critics Association Awards. But when the main award season came, it went big. It did win Best Motion Picture Foreign Language at the Golden Globes, and Critics' Choice for Best Foreign Film, with an additional win for Best Director as a tie with Sam Mendes, who won for 1917. Won the Screen Actors Guild for Best Ensemble in a Motion Picture, the Writers Guild, and the BAFTA for Best Original Screenplay, with an additional BAFTA win for Best Film Not in the English Language, and Best International Film at the Independent Spirit Awards. And then at the Academy Awards, it earned 6 nominations, as it was nominated for Best Production Design, Best Film Editing, and won for Best International Feature, Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Picture. Yes, for those who don't follow movies or even the movie award season, Best Motion Picture of 2019, making this movie the first film that is not in the English language to win Best Picture in the Academy's history. We only need a documentary and an animated one in the future to win that category soon. And this is the reason why the reviewing schedule you've seen have been different, because I wanted this to be the best for last. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Best Picture winner of 2019, Parasite. Directed by Bong Joon-ho, this is a movie about the Kim family, a very poor, unemployed family who lives in the basement of an apartment building. They are the father Kim Taeki, the mother Chun-suk, the daughter Kim-ju, and their son Ki-woo. Speaking of the latter, he ends up getting an opportunity to become an English tutor for the daughter of a wealthy family called the Parks, who live in a fancy house. So the Kims decide to make a plan by getting all 4 of them into a job working for this family as an art therapist, a cab driver, and a housekeeper, while undercovering themselves to show that they're not all related, and it would change both of these families' lives in a whole new way. Parasite is one of those movies I really did not know what was going to happen in this movie, and all of you guys are waiting for the hype on my thoughts on this movie, a movie that many of you considered being the best of the year, that it ended up being okay for me. You see, I wanted to talk about a lot of things here, but it would be spoiler territory. In fact, I really wanted to do a spoiler review here when I was planning these reviews, but when I saw this movie, I just didn't feel with the movie when I was watching this. Let me start up with the best thing about the movie, is the acting and the production design. The Parks house is a place I would reside in. Heck, even having a television in your bathroom while taking a bath would be awesome. In the acting, there are 3 of them that stand out for me. Song Kang-ho as Ki-tak, the father of the Kims, Chi Woo-shik as Ki-woo, the son, and Cho Young-jao as Cho Young-gu, the mother of the Parks, who is my favorite character of the film. For the weak aspects, first up, although the execution for the script is really intense, especially once we get to another section of the house, to the birthday party scene in the end, but it was kind of a predictable plot the whole way through. Also, the directing by Bong Joon-ho didn't really stand out for me, because I thought it was going to be more and more violence that will occur. I know that this is a hard review to do without spoilers, but if you're planning to watch Parasite, just watch it once and see how you feel, because I would probably not have it in my Blu-ray collection once I start my Blu-ray collection. Okay, now we come into our ranking on the international features on what was my least favorite to the best one of the 5 nominees. And I just want to say there was a lot of thinking for me when I was ranking these. Number 5 still remained the same when I saw it, and that is Pain and Glory. Decent script and an awesome score, but the acting and the directing feels so generic, even if it's loosely based on Pedro Almodovar's life. Number 4, Parasite. I know, okay, yeah, I know. It is a shock here. It has great sets, it has some great characters, but the movie didn't really connect to me like others on a predictable story. Number 3, Les Misérables. I can see how the investigation is told through the Victor Hugo story in a modern way, but doing it modern made it a bit confusing. Number 2, Corpus Christi. Well acted, but the script has some mean characters written and have predictable moments. So yeah, my number 1 international film is Honeyland. As I stated on Wednesday, a great story about this village beekeeper on her ups and downs and great personalities of all the people as you feel for all of them. It's shocking to say that Honeyland not also should have won for documentary feature, in my opinion, but it also should have won for best international feature as well, over Parasite. I know people are not going to like this, but I do think Parasite is a bit overrated for me. So you might be questioning, what about the categories and the wins it got? Before I begin with the other categories that Parasite was nominated for, I wanted to start with the others that had additional nominations. I already stated with Honeyland, so I don't need to repeat that. For Pain and Glory, do I think Antonio Banderas should have won Best Actor over Joaquin Phoenix for his role in Joker? Easily, no. I wouldn't even choose Joaquin either. For me, it should have been Adam Driver for his role in Marriage Story. As for Parasite, starting with the 2 that it didn't win, for film editing, which went to Ford vs. Ferrari, I would have given it to The Irishman because Thelma Schoonmaker is a legend what she did. For production design, which went to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, this is the category I would give this to Parasite. The Parks House alone speaks for itself over the other 4 nominees. And the 3 wins it got: Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Picture. For Original Screenplay, I would have given that to Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story. As Parasite, it would have been in 3rd place for me, and you will see why. For directing, I might get some hate for this, but I would have given that to Todd Phillips for Joker. Despite of the backlash he has, and the divisive reaction to that movie, the last half hour just blew my mind. Bong would have been in the middle for me. And then, for Best Picture. You know it's going to be a no, so what's my ranking from 9th to 1st as it goes? From least to best, it goes Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 1917, Parasite, Marriage Story, Joker, The Irishman, Ford vs. Ferrari, Little Women, and Jojo Rabbit. So yeah, I would have said it should have been Jojo Rabbit, but you guys are relieved that Parasite is not last. And as you might have noticed, the 3 movies that won picture titles during the awards season, I consider the top 3 Oscar movies of the year, based on my predictions on what could have been the results, overrated. Then again, this comes from a person who also says that Birdman, Spotlight, and Moonlight were overrated Best Picture winners as well. And finally, if other people was voting for the nominations, what would others voted for the international category? For me, I would keep Honeyland, but for the others, sadly, not even Parasite would be in my list. But what could I put in here? The only other ones that were on the short list were Senegal's Atlantics, Russia's Beanpole, Czech Republic's The Painted Bird, Hungary's Those Who Remain, and Estonia's Truth and Justice. And of course, you also got the other France film that they didn't submit, since they went with Les Misérables, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And after seeing that film, it's kind of equal to Les Misérables. So, if you're wondering which 2 I would go with, neither. I would have chose I Lost My Body as the best France film. And with that, we come to the end of the international reviews, but also the end of this year's Oscar reviews on the documentary, international, and animated films. If you like any of these reviews, you can hit that subscribe button and comment down below on your ranking if you have seen all the 5 nominees. Also, do you agree or guarantee disagree that Parasite deserved it or not, or any of the other categories? Hopefully in one of these years, we can get a perfect 3 out of 3 in these 3 categories for my opinions. but let's see if the films for 2020 would do it for the 93rd Annual Academy Awards.